Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Here, I have an old phone charger that is no longer being used. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than an old electronic device with little value left. I also have an old digital TV receiver that is broken and can no longer be used as originally intended. Instead of throwing these two devices away, today I want to reuse them for a pretty interesting DIY project. Let's go through the process step by step and see what the final result looks like. First, I prepare an HDMI connector and check whether it fits the connection port on the back of the digital TV receiver. Then, I strip away the outer insulation to expose the small wires inside. Next, I keep the 4 wires with blue insulation and cut away the remaining wires because they are not needed for this connection. After that, I strip the ends of the 4 wires to expose the copper cores inside. Next, I group 2 wires together. This turns the 4 individual wires into 2 separate wire groups, making the connection process easier and more organized. Here, I also prepare a phone charging cable that can be connected to a phone charger. First, I strip away the outer insulation of the charging cable to prepare it for the connection. Every like and subscription motivates me to create more creative DIY projects. Thank you so much for your support. Then, I twist the charging cable wires together with the 2 wire groups prepared from the HDMI cable. Next, I use a wooden clip to hold the 2 cables firmly in place so the copper cores do not move during soldering. After that, I use a soldering iron and some solder wire to cover the connection with a layer of solder. Once the soldering is complete, I wrap electrical tape tightly around the connection. This helps protect the solder joint, prevents the exposed wires from making unwanted contact, and keeps the connection neat and secure during use. I repeat the same steps to connect and secure the 2 remaining wires. This video is for educational purposes only and is intended for DIY enthusiasts. Projects involving soldering, electricity, and mechanical tools can involve potential risks. Always wear appropriate protective equipment, follow proper safety procedures, and use tools correctly. Do not attempt any dangerous procedures if you do not have the necessary knowledge or experience. Once the connections are complete, I add another layer of electrical tape around all the joints. This extra layer helps keep the wires neatly together, protects the solder joints, and reduces the risk of the exposed conductors touching each other during use. After that, I connect the wire to the connection point linking the phone charger to the digital TV receiver. Here, I prepare a single electrical outlet to serve as an intermediate connection between the antenna and the TV. First, I remove the outer cover of the outlet to access the electrical terminals inside. Next, I use a section of signal cable as the connection wire between the antenna and the TV. First, I strip the insulation from one end of the cable to expose the conductive core inside. Then, I divide the exposed end into two groups to create a connection point. This prepares the cable for the connector and provides a stable contact point for the signal path. Next, I connect the two wire groups to the electrical terminals inside the outlet and tighten the screws securely. After that, I reinstall the cover of the electrical outlet as it was originally. At the other end of the signal cable, I create another connector in the same way. Then, I attach this end to a TV connector jack. This jack allows the cable to connect directly to the antenna input on the TV, making installation more convenient. Finally, I wrap electrical tape tightly around the connection to secure it firmly and protect the contact points from becoming loose or making unwanted contact during use. Now, I'm going to test it in real-world conditions to see how effective it really is. First, I'll switch to a TV channel to check the signal reception without connecting the antenna. As you can see, without the antenna connected, the TV only displays the message, no signal. This means the TV cannot receive any broadcast signals in its current state. Next, I'll connect the DIY antenna to the signal input on the back of the TV for the actual test. And here is the result. Almost immediately after connecting the antenna, the TV channels begin to appear. The picture is clear, the colors remain stable, and there are no continuous signal interruptions. To make the test more convincing, I'll perform one more experiment. I disconnect the antenna from the TV and observe the signal changes. As soon as the antenna is unplugged, the screen instantly returns to the no signal message. All channels disappear, confirming that the signal truly came from this homemade antenna. Now, I'll reconnect the antenna once again. As you can see, within just a few seconds, the channels reappear and continue working normally. If you enjoyed this project or found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support motivates me to continue creating more repair, recycling, and DIY projects in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.